put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
For viewers on the Tobago Updates morning show, my name is Akinlabi Hola. Today is Thursday, the 29th of May. Yes, it is the day before the holiday, and we are here at the Magdalena Grand Resort and at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort, and we are here to celebrate. Yes, it's the day before the public holiday, Indian Arrival Day, and today's program we're going to just take a time off to really celebrate our East Indian brothers and sisters. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, today is a very special day. But before we get into any of those conversations, we go to our news in seconds.
Thank you, Akinlabi. Here's your news in 90 seconds for Thursday, May 29, 2025. Amid evolving political dynamics, Tobago stakeholders are cautious following a meeting between Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar and THA Chief Secretary Farley Augustine. The meeting focused on Tobago's autonomy, enhanced legislative powers for THA, the long-delayed Scarborough Secondary School, and consistent public consultation. However, IDA political leader Dr. Denise Hoyafat Angus urged a review of the outdated autonomy bills, emphasizing that youth inclusion is needed. Up next, a new chapter in steel band history has been written. Trinidad and Tobago's Joshua Regalo is now a Guinness World Record holder for the longest marathon playing steel band, 31 hours of non-stop music. It was officially published on the Guinness World Record website on Tuesday. Regalo's feature took place at WAC 90.1 FM studio in San Fernando on December 27, 2024. Supported by fans and celebrities, he played a vibrant mix of soca, calypso, and impromptu requests, pausing only twice. Regalo ended triumphantly with the national anthem and hopes his achievement inspires global recognition for the steel pan. And finally, in some sports news, Tobago athletes delivered outstanding performances at the 2025 National Primary Schools Track and Field Championships, securing multiple podium finishes. Signal Hill Government Primary School Keon Bonds won 2 goals and earned Victor Lodurium under 11 boys, while Gloria Henry took victory in girls under 13. The relay teams dominated with Signal Hill, Lambo AC and Wim AC clinching several first-place finishes. Jelena Vincent shone in sprints and relay, winning victory Ludurium girls under 9. Scarborough RC's Jeremiah Hector captured Victor Ludurium boys under 13, and overall boys and girls trophy went to Signal Hill Government Primary School. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you very much, Biana, for that news in 90 seconds. And we have joining us Dana. Dana, good morning to you.
Good morning, Akinlabi. Good morning, Tobago. How are you guys doing? It's the day before the long holiday weekend. We have a holiday tomorrow, and we are representing by showing love and support for the Hindu community here in Trinidad and Tobago, and also in Tobago. Indeed, it is a pleasure to be here this morning and to have conversations with you, our viewers, and of course, joining my co-host on set this morning. So, what's happening? I know I heard some news in sports there, and of course, always a pleasure to be giving support and, of course, cheering on Team TTO wherever we are and however we represent. But what's going on in your neck of the woods, guys?
Well, it's more of a quiet one in my woods, just waiting for the holiday tomorrow to eat some curry.
That's right. And that's one thing about us culturally in Trinidad and Tobago. It doesn't matter what the holiday season is, there's always some type of food that you could celebrate. And so food is a main staple in our cultural practices here in Trinidad and Tobago. So I'm with you on that, Ebi, and I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. I'm with you. Akinlabi, what's up?
Well, I'm just really excited about the news, the track and field news coming out from the National Primary School competition. Tobago always does very well in both primary and secondary school track and field, and just to see that tradition going on. I'm also very excited about that conversation between the Chief Secretary and the Prime Minister, that 5-hour-long meeting they had yesterday. They seem to be getting off on a good foot, a good start. Let's hope that continues and that it bodes well for Tobago and for the development of Trinidad and Tobago as a whole.
I hope so too. At the end of the day, we always say it doesn't matter the political affiliation, especially after the elections have been completed. Primarily, what the focus should be is on the people of Trinidad and Tobago, the people who, of course, elected each other, who elected the politicians to be in position. And we as a people, we have to put our differences aside and we have to focus on building the nation, rebuilding the nation, repairing, restoring. And of course, I feel sometimes we also have to rebuild relationships, because we know things happen during an election season, during campaigning, and relationships are broken down. Yes. And so we have to start rebuilding and ensuring that we're in a good place, yes, so that we all benefit from the policies that can be implemented after the election season. So I'm happy for the relationship, and I'm hoping that all political parties can really come together and say nation first, yes, party after. Agreed. I really hope that's where we're going.
I really hope so as well. I really hope so as well. Mm-hmm. So thank you, Biana, very much for that news in 90 seconds.
Yes.
So ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on to that time of the program where we celebrate with those who are celebrating with us. It's time for our birthday shout-outs.
That's right. And we begin the birthday shout-outs this morning by saying happy birthday to Kenel Penny Smith. Kenel Penny Smith is celebrating a birthday today, and we say happy birthday to you. We do pray God's blessings upon your life, and we hope that you have a wonderful, amazing birthday today.
We also say happy birthday to Miss Katharina Charles. Katharina Charles, happy birthday to you. We wish you God's richest blessings. We know that your friends and family are going to be with you, and tonight is the night before the holiday, so we know you're going out to party and celebrate late into the night. But don't forget to thank God for his blessings on your life and continued into the future. Happy birthday to you, Miss Charles.
Is this Denicia Dempster? Denicia Dempster is celebrating a birthday today. Do you guys know this name and this face? Think back. Let history be your guide this morning. We say happy birthday to Denicia Dempster this morning. We pray God's blessings upon your life, and we do hope that you have a wonderful, amazing birthday today. God's richest blessings upon you as you continue to walk in purpose and fulfill your destiny. So happy birthday to you.
And finally, we say happy birthday to Mr. Dale Legal. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Legal. We wish you God's richest blessings on this special day of yours, and we hope that you take some time off to really reflect on your life and reflect on all the blessings that you have received thus far in your life. And we hope that you really take this time to celebrate and to take some self-care, some time for self-care and for yourself. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Legal.
That's right. And of course, even though we don't have your photographs, if you are celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, you just got married, a promotion, a new house, a new car, whatever you are celebrating, we here at Tobago Updates Television, we join in the celebration with you, because we love a good celebration, But we want to remind you to put God first, because he is the sole reason why there's even anything for you to celebrate. And talking about celebrations, we're heading on into Indian Arrival Day. We celebrate Indian Arrival Day with the East Indian community tomorrow. And so, of course, we join in the celebration there as we acknowledge each other's cultures, as we acknowledge each other's, way of life. And so we here at Tobago Update Television join in that celebration. Speaking of that, Akinlabi, who are we having conversations with this morning in studio?
Carrying on the celebrations today. And we have in studio with us Ms. Pulwati Bipath. She's the president of the Tobago Hindu Society, and she's going to be talking about the Indian Arrival Day celebrations. Afterwards, we're going to have Mr. Govinda Ramlogan, who also known as Tobago Chana, and he is the PRO of the Tobago Hindu Society, and he will be continuing the conversations with us about the Indian Day arrival celebrations right here in Tobago. And finally, we're going to have on Miss Ria Sampson, who is the events coordinator at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort, and she will be discussing our Father's Day brunch coming up. They have a Father's Day brunch coming up, and you know that is going to be pretty exciting. So those are the conversations that we'll be having this morning, Adana.
Akin Labi, you know, you're going through the rundown there and you just stopped by Tobago Chana, but you didn't tell them that there might be something special coming from Tobago Chana this morning as we enter into that time of celebration. Of course, you know, we celebrate with the Hindu community. We're talking about food, we're talking about lights, we're talking about the arrival here in Trinidad and Tobago in let me get the date correct, 1845, I think it is.
Yes.
When the ship came here with indentured laborers. It's going to be an interesting conversation, you know, and I feel as if I'm hoping that the history is being taught in schools when we talk about different cultures, because we're so used to one specific thing, and I'm hoping that the community of Tobago is opening up to the way of life for the Hindus. So, you know, I'm looking forward to having that conversation this morning. We had a preliminary conversation last week with Sita Bipat and Bimal Ramlogan as they were talking about the celebrations at the Lowlands Mall, and so we continue the conversations this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, viewers far and wide, we want you to join our conversation this morning. Remember, you can log into our Facebook live stream and our YouTube channel at Tobago Updates Television. You can also join us on AMPLIA 102 on floor 121 or 130. Whether you are far or wide, near or far, right here in Tobago, Trinidad, the Caribbean region, the United States of America, Canada, Asia, Africa, Australia, wherever you are, this is your opportunity to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions, powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme.
Well, I want a proper window for me house, eh? I want no shake thing in my place.
Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces.
We get one wall on the side and we get one hole. You can put a window there, invent something, a window for put there.
At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style.
Well, me meet ya. Me don't know who I'm talking to, but I have my cousin Tufina tell me for call all you go get proper thing for put there. Me don't know.
Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business.
Driven? No, I ain't driving. I get a bus ticket. One of me pick me them go drop me down there. Must bring me down there. Russo Trace Printer down by the page down there.
Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products, it's about relationships. It's about you.
It's all about me? Who's your family? You know Edna and Dorka and them, you know them, but you resemble them Edward boy and Edward people them, you.
Tobago Glass Supplies, Russo Trace Spring Garden, telephone number 639-6266. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next generation.
you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. This morning we are at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort. Yes, we are outside, but we're inside in a cool space where there's nice fresh air conditioning blowing this morning, and I'm so grateful for that. We're having conversations with Miss Rhea Sampson. She is the events coordinator here at the Magdalena. We're going to be talking about something very special that is coming up very soon. Good morning and welcome.
Morning, everybody. Morning, Tobago. Thank you for having me.
Of course, a pleasure you being here this morning, and thank you so much for having us here at the Magdalena. It's always a pleasure, hosting the show here with you guys. And we know that the Magdalena Grand, there's always something special happening here. Whether it's Christmas, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day. I landed right where you want to talk. So you want to talk about what's happening for Father's Day at the Magdalena?
Well, we're doing Father's Day earlier this year. We're trying to go out there as much as fathers love to say we don't do anything for them. So this year we said we're going grand. We're going big for them. So this year we're doing a nice Father's Day package. So you can come, you get 2 nights. The fathers can go for a nice relaxing massage. We are partnering with the spa this year. So the Face and Body Clinic, they're doing a nice massage. And of course, we have to feed them. So we have breakfast and we have brunch for 2 people in the room. And we also have a complimentary late checkout until 4 o'clock, and we have Pigeon Point shuttles for them. So it's for 2 nights, $3,400. We have the package on for the weekend. So you can either do from a Friday to a Sunday or a Saturday to a Monday. So it's just for the Father's Day weekend, which is the weekend of the 15th. And of course, the best part, brunch is on Sunday. So they could come out for brunch. We have a very large menu for them. It's a great buffet. Of course, we have to outdo Mother's Days for the fathers. So we are outdoing it. We'll have some giveaways and stuff. So we are really looking forward to the fathers coming out.
Yes. Is this the first year of a Father's Day brunch, or this?
No, we do this every year, but we wanted to do something a little more for the fathers to get them to come out, to really show them that they are important, just like mummies. So we're doing something a little bigger for them. So the Father's Day brunch, we have breakfast items, lunch items. You could get your curry goat and your bus-up shot.
What are you saying?
Live station for breakfast, omelets and waffles. Yes. We are really pushing out for the fathers this year, so they can't come and say anything besides that they were here and they had a great time.
And I like the fact that in the beginning you mentioned sometimes fathers go unappreciated or unnoticed, and we put more emphasis on mothers. And I understand why that is done, but I also understand the need for fathers also to be appreciated, because society keeps calling for men to come forward, for men to stand up, for men to take their place. But do we as a society give the men what they also deserve? Do we give them the recognition they need? Do we give them the support? Do we give them the appreciation? And so, I find this is a very, very good initiative. to ensure that our men understand that they too have a place. And a little bit jealous because I'm hearing all kind of things on this menu, you know, rightfully so, but I'm a little bit jealous. I like what I'm hearing. When you're talking about curry goat, this is a brunch and you're talking about curry goat. I mean, what was the idea or the concept behind coming up with a menu that was so all-inclusive?
Well, what we wanted to do is most times for Father's Day, they tend to come for breakfast. So we want to make sure that they have both items. And it is Sunday, so we want to make sure that when you come, you go home and you don't have to study what to cook, you know? Right. So we're giving you a lot of food. We're making sure that they feel like it's a day to celebrate the fathers, you know? So we wanted to make sure the menu shows that.
You also mentioned a shuttle, a Pigeon Point shuttle. Tell us the idea behind that.
So we do have the beach, but we're also making sure that persons feel comfortable going to the Caribbean side, get a little taste of the other beach that we have on the islands. We want to make sure that the package, you know, serves the fathers. You know, it is their day, their weekend to relax. So we're making sure that every part of them gets, you know, a little something to relax.
And I know for the Mother's Day package, you all did, the people had a choice of taking just the brunch or taking the brunch and the stay. Is that option also available for the fathers
The package
as well?
includes brunch and breakfast for 2 persons in the room. Right. So it's $3,400 and it includes them 2 persons for breakfast and for brunch.
So they don't have to choose.
They don't have to
available
choose.
To them.
They get in food.
You know, and I really look forward to the packages that the Magdalena has, because when I think about it, it kind of really is supportive of family life. You know, here you're talking about a Father's Day weekend, and it's not just for daddy.
No,
right? So he can bring.
He can bring, you know, significant, and you can incorporate the kids if you want to. Yes. I know some fathers have mentioned they prefer, you know, a quiet evening and a quiet time, just the TV and the remote, and that don't disturb me. You know, so you can bring your kids. Yeah, we do have rooms available and space for the kids as well.
Absolutely amazing.
Very good, very good. I like the menu. The menu is very expansive.
And how soon can persons start booking their packages for Father's Day?
They can start right away. Packages are already out, so you can just call our reservations department 660-8500, or you can email us at reservations@magdalenagrand.com. And for the brunch, it is by reservations only, so you can call as well, or you can also email us at sales@magdalenagrand.com.
Yes. And what else? I just want a little sneak peek. What else is happening in the Magdalena at this point in time or in the near future?
We have a few things coming up. Of course, we have some specials. We always have specials for the locals happening. So always follow our Facebook page, our Instagram page. You'll get all the specials that we have. And of course, we're going into June, July, August. You know, that's the time of what they call summer, which is not really for us. So we'll have some things happening for the kids in this, you know, the months of June and July. We'll have some things happening, and then we'll come back and I'll give you all some information.
Of course, I will look forward to it. Of course, you know, thank you so much, Ria, for joining us this morning and being here, giving us the information as it relates to things happening at the Magdalena Grand. We always look forward to whatever you have to offer. As I mentioned, I find it to be very, very inclusive of the family, very, very well thought out. So we look forward to that, and we do hope that daddies, you are able to have that time where you can come, relax, enjoy the seaside, enjoy the pool, the facilities, the amenities, the breakfast, the brunch, and just the relaxation with the remote in your hand, lying on a king size, I suppose a king size bed, and just having a good time here at the Magdalena Grand. Thank you so much, Ria, and do have a wonderful day. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a short break before we continue conversations at our studio here at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort. But in the meantime, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
chance to lock in the brunch experience of the summer. Sun Up.
Real bad girl get nasty.
The brunch inclusive edition. The ultimate party in the East, where vibrant flavors, refreshing cocktails, and electrifying vibes collide. It's happening on Saturday, July 5th from 3 p.m. at Deltec Compound, Argyle. Bring your coolers, bring your crew, and brunch, sip, and vibe in style. This is the flavorful escape you've been waiting for. Grab your tickets now at Barcode, Pablo Supermarket, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Deltec Compound, and committee members. Sun Up. It's more than a brunch. It's an experience.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TT Bet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games, and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Springs. Contact 49SWIFT 4979438.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. We are live at the Magdalena Grand Golf and Beach Resort here in Lowlands, Tobago, and it's a pleasure, of course, having you here with us. Before we begin conversations in studio, we have the photo of the day up for you. The photo of the day was taken right here on the island of Tobago. Can you guess where this photo was taken? Can you guess on beautiful, beautiful Tobago? Of course, you can leave your comments on our Facebook live stream and our YouTube channel. Let us know where you think this photo was taken. All right, we begin conversations this morning, and we speak this morning with Miss Pulwati Bipat, the president of the Hindu Society of Tobago, and Mr. Govinda Ramlogan. He is the PRO, the Public Relations Officer of the Hindu Society, and also known as Tobago Chana. So there might be something in store for you later where he's concerned. Good morning and welcome, Sitaram.
Good morning, Sitaram, and a pleasant good morning to everyone.
All right, a pleasure having you guys with us this morning, and we're talking about Indian Arrival Day. As you are aware, Trinidad and Tobago is so integrated in different cultures. There's so many cultures integrated in our society, and this time we're taking some time out to celebrate the East Indian community and Hinduism, the religion of Hindu. And we want to get some information in terms of how did we get to this place where we are now celebrating the arrival of East Indians? And so we're talking about arriving here since in the 1800s, right? So just talk us through a little bit of that, Govinda.
Well, first I have to say Sitaram to everyone. Our ancestors would have left Calcutta, India on the Fatal Razak, the 16th of February 1845, and they would have arrived in Trinidad on 1845, 30th of May. And that journey itself was a very tough and challenging one. As you all may know, we traveled from Trinidad to Tobago on the fast ferry, and 3 hours on that we just want to get off the boat. So you can imagine the amount of torture would have took place on that boat, and a lot of our ancestors wouldn't have survived also. And before they arrived to Trinidad, I understood that they would have stopped off in various islands, and when they reached Trinidad, they were so feeling a little weak and they had to rebuild themselves, but their determination, which they came to work, which way they were promised a better life here in Trinidad due to the abolishment of slavery. But when they came down, they were basically getting the same treatment and were not getting paid enough, but they persevered a lot, and here we are today with all these various successes.
And talking about the various successes, when you look at the East Indian community, you see a lot of East Indians into businesses and, of course, teaching the younger ones coming up about business. And I want to focus on a little bit of that practice in terms of ensuring that they provide financial stability. Can I link it to the hardship that they endured coming to Trinidad and Tobago?
Yes, the mentality of our forefathers were they sacrificed and saved so that their future children and grandchildren would reap the benefits, which we are all witnessing today. And they also preserve their culture and heritage and religion, especially they hold on to their religion tightly through all the sacrifices. Some of them would have had to convert to various religions in order for their children to get education, but some of them held on to it. And here we are today, we've seen the many successes through, as you said, the business people, the various Hindu schools, also the Prime Minister, also of East Indian descent, which we, the Tobago in the society, would like to congratulate her. And we are very proud as far as where we have reached today. And apart from that, we continue to mix with all the various religion and races that are present in Trinidad and Tobago.
And I really like that, Miss B part, talking about getting involved with all the other religions in Trinidad and Tobago, ensuring that everybody kind of finds an equal place. I know you hosted the event last Saturday at the Lowlands Mall, and when last week we had Sita and Bimal here, and they were talking that everybody's invited. How important is it for you to ensure that everybody is invited to your events and understand your way of life?
Well, Sitaram to everyone. First of all, I must say that I am a member of the inter-religious organization here in Tobago, representing the Hindu faith. Whenever we have functions, we invite every member of the Adventists, the Muslims, the Baptists, all these people come together. Mm-hmm. So we bond together that if the Muslims have something, we go. The Baptists have a function, we go. We all come together as one family. Mm. Yes, we serve one God, but we all come together and unite. So during our program, I invited every one of them. They came, they did their prayers, they offered their prayers, they congratulated the society. We tried to educate the people of Tobago about the East Indian culture. So we had our program last Saturday. We had performances from the Mahatma Gandhi Cultural Corporation from Trinidad. We had a representative of the High Commissioner for India representing him at the function. We also had so many artists showing their talent. We had the steel pan, the young boy that Leroy that played the national anthem first, a young student from Wim Anglican School. And we tried to encourage and to teach the children, the younger children, the culture in Tobago, so that they would not be they would know that we have all these amount of sweets, doubles, what the food is consists of, what the culture is consists of, and all these things that go along with the East Indian community here.
And talking about, earlier we mentioned on set that food is a big part of our culture in Trinidad and Tobago. Whatever the holiday, whatever the religion, whatever we're celebrating, food is always a main staple. At Christmas time, you have this specific type of food. We're celebrating now Indian Arrival Day. When it's Diwali, we have the different types of food that represent the different cultures and the ways of life. And, I know at the event is also very important for you to give. You always feed people at all your events. How important is it for you to ensure that you give to people?
Right. It is really like a Thanksgiving that when we have the celebration. And I must thank the Tobago House of Assembly Tourism Department. They had assisted us in this year's program at the mall. I want to thank all the people that sponsored, the different things that we had so that we could enable to share. And we had Bermudas and these big companies distributing snacks for the children. So like when we have program, they always come together to distribute things for the children. Children are very excited, especially when they get snacks and they get drinks and they get these things. So I want to thank the various people who contributed in making our program a success as well.
And in terms of keeping the culture going, like the dancing and your entertainment aspect of it, how is the Hindu Society of Tobago ensuring that the generation that is coming up is a part of it? I see Princess Mia is doing her thing there as well. She's coming along really nicely. But how are you getting all the other young ones to be a part of what is happening in your culture?
Right. Well, Sita, my daughter, she is trained in India. So she have now started teaching. She taught one student so far. And she have decided to expand her career and see if she could get the younger children to come together so she could start with them. Mia have started singing at an earlier age. Tomorrow, Mia will be representing Tobago at the Meritage competition in Trinidad. So they left this morning to go to that function because she have to get her practice for the orchestra and all of that.
Right.
So I will be going this afternoon just to support her because she looked forward, and she have a lot of sponsors as well because seeing that she have a favorite that everybody see Mia is trying at a young age, now 10 years, they always try to help her and say, okay, Mia, you go ahead. And I want to thank the sponsors that assisted Mia in going to this program tomorrow and want to wish her all the best. And to represent Tobago.
We wish you the best as well, Mia. And I've seen Mia over the years, and I remember when she started, and she is doing so good. She has improved a lot and she's so brave. And, I really wish that as you continue to develop the culture, that the young ones who come up, they will come forward as well to do what they have to do to ensure the culture is represented. I know that you're building your temple. Tell us a little bit about where we are, where the temple is concerned.
Right. So the temple right now, we is almost 3/4 completed. I want to say a special thank you first to Mr. Orville London. I want to thank Ms. Shampa Kojo. She was the person responsible for helping us with donating the materials and all of that. I want to thank the Chief Secretary. He was instrumental in sending the URP workers to reach how far we are today. And we have a lot of donation sponsors that help us to see how far. We still have a lot of work to do, but we are hoping at the end of the year we should be completed because we are trying our best. We want to have classes, we want to teach people Hindi, we want to teach the Tobagonians our culture, so that with all these things, when the temple is completed, we would be able to educate the people of Tobago. I also want to say a special thank you to our Pandit, Ramdat Mahet. He was the person who was instrumental in the first person that came and started the groundwork and all of that. And afterwards that, my son Bisham, he had help there and he took over from the Pandit there. And right now, with the assistance of them, we have reached a long way.
And many congratulations to you, of course, and thank you for all the community that came together to help to ensure that the temple is being constructed here in Tobago. Govinda, in terms of other events that might be happening around this time, what else is happening to celebrate Indian Arrival Day in Tobago and even in Trinidad?
Okay, so as a teacher in Scarborough Secondary School this morning, after this program, we have another program in school where we'll be showcasing the culture and religions to the students, not only Hinduism but also Islam and also Christianity. So we would have brought up dancers from Trinidad, and yeah, we try to educate the students as much as possible, not only Scarborough Secondary School, but we also visit other schools. So, and also as a teacher in Scarborough Secondary School, this year I would have registered a student in the school's intellectual Chutney Soca Monarch competition in Trinidad and Tobago, and she would have qualified for the finals. And it was a very proud moment in Tobago knowing that we had somebody in the National Chutney Soca Monarch final. So we are doing our best as the Hindu Society and spreading the culture and education, because education is very important. Once they understand, they'll be able to appreciate more. So, yes.
And you know, really is a proud moment indeed. And we here at Tobago Updates Television, we always show support to our Tobagonians who take the national stage and international stage. Once you are representing Tobago in a positive light, we throw our support towards you. So congratulations for getting that student into the competition and heading on to the finals.
Yes.
And of course, we wish the very, very best where that is concerned. And also, as you continue your efforts to ensure the community of Tobago understands the way of life, understands the East Indian society and the way that you live and the way that you survive and thrive here on the island of Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to go for a short break before we continue conversations. When we come back, we'll still be speaking with Miss Bipat and Mr. Ram Logan as we continue talking about Indian Arrival Day celebrations and the East Indian community here in Trinidad and in Tobago. You want to be a part of the conversation, you want to get the information, the history, you want to be in the know. So to be in the know, we are asking you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TT Bet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
your chance to lock in the brunch experience of the summer. Sun Up.
Real bad girl get nasty.
The brunch inclusive edition, the ultimate party in the East, where vibrant flavors, refreshing cocktails, and electrifying vibes collide. It's happening on Saturday, July 5th from 3 p.m. at Deltec Compound, Argyle. Bring your coolers, bring your crew, and brunch, sip, and vibe in style. This is the flavorful escape you've been waiting for. Grab your tickets now at Barcode, Pablo Supermarket, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Deltec Compound, and committee members. Sun Up. It's more than a brunch. It's an experience.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, and we are here at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort, and we've been having conversations with members of the Tobago Hindu Society. And before we go back into that conversation, we want to go to our photo of the day. Yes, our photo of the day, it's coming up just now, and it's a photo sent in by Chris Hansen. Chris Hansen, sorry.
Chris Anderson.
Anderson, my apologies. Chris Anderson.
And of course, we have to reveal to you the photo of the day. We did ask if you knew where this photo was taken from, and this photo was taken at Fort Bennett. Fort Bennett right here in Tobago. Can you imagine? And I'll tell you what Chris Anderson said. He used a polarizer to cut off the glare, and he also said that it's such a special spot right here, and Tobago seems to be full of them. And I agree with you, Mr. Anderson. I agree with you this morning, and thank you so much for sending in the photo of the day.
Yes. And you know, Adana, as you all were having conversations, I was listening to you all, and you all were talking about the cuisine and the East Indian cuisine. My mouth started watering, you know. And I was just thinking about the similarities between the East Indian cuisine here and back in India, and maybe perhaps the variations and the evolution of the food that may have taken place over the years and over the decades that since we've been here. So I don't know if you could speak to that in terms of how the East Indian cuisine has maintained some of its roots and also has added on to it.
Okay, so here in Trinidad and Tobago, everybody knows what is roti. Now in Trinidad and Tobago, although we are small, we had various types of roti, right? So like dal puri, bus-up shot, sada roti, dosti roti. Now in India, it is so big, and in each part of India, if you travel, you will notice different variations of roti. So some places might have the chapati, some may have the aloo puri. And yes, food is a very important factor in our cuisine. And apart from the food in India, it is so big. In that one India, it is not only Hindi. Everybody know Hindi as the main language, but there are various languages such as Bhojpuri and other languages. And also here in Trinidad, we know what is pilau, right? Rice, chicken, and peas and everything over there. They have something similar, which is known as biryani. So the same concept, but their flavors. So as time evolves, and you know, and the various seasonings, and when you come to our programs, you can ask Adana. Over the years, my mother, Ramde, Holas Ramlogan, would have been the main chef, and the evening before, all the members would come together, and we would sing, and we'd sit down and clean the various vegetables, which we know as takari. And while that is going on, we sing, we talk, and while the work going on, you don't feel like you're doing the work because it's plenty work, because as you know, it's big pots. But yeah, as we come together and unite all the members, and yeah, foods are very important. We have to make sure you are well fed, and it also shows our appreciation that you all come out of the program.
And I really can attest to that in Troy, Akinabi. It's a lot of work. The pots are as big as I've never seen pots so big. I mean, I know traditionally we have what we call wedding pots in Tobago, the big pots, but those pots are huge, and they peel the potatoes, and it really is a good opportunity for family bonding, because you see from the small to the great, the children are around, they might be playing, but everybody is there in the same space. And as Govinda said, music is playing, people singing, you talk, you laugh, you have fun. Yes. So it really is a good time for family. I like that about the culture in terms of ensuring the family understands the culture, because even little Mia can have a conversation and she understands, what she's doing, and I like that about it. And I really wish all of Trinidad and Tobago will pay attention to family and ensure that your family traditions, go on for generations within your own family space as well. We could take pattern from what the East Indian society is doing, because I think it's something so rich, culturally rich and socially rich, and it really is important for our family. And yes, Akinlabi, mouth-watering for the food. It really is mouth-watering as well, and I can't wait to get some more. I really can't wait to get some more, The East Indian community is really amazing, and I've had the opportunity to be a part of what they do, because as you're aware, they are my in-laws. My brother, who is Christian, is married to Sita, and I've learned a lot being a part of the family as well. So good things, good stuff happening there, and the welcome. The other thing, Govinda, and I think Mommy, Mrs. Bipat spoke about it. The family, the importance of family, and ensuring that you create a space for everybody, which is what was created for us when we entered the family and they entered our family. The space was created. So that is something very important. And I know I told you guys that there's a special surprise in studio for you all. We have Tobago Channel here, so Tobago Channel has to do something for us. But we just want to take a moment to acknowledge the passing of the previous PRO, the Public Relations Officer of the Tobago Hindu Society, Dio Saran Sinanan, who passed. And we just want to spend just a couple of seconds in silence just to acknowledge his contribution and his passing. All right, we thank you for that moment of silence. And any contribution you make to any organization you are part of is supposed to bring some type of impact. And so we have Govinda now, who is now the PRO of the Tobago Hindu Society, known as Tobago Channel, singing songs. You've seen videos of him singing and performing, and also as in the schools, Cameron Secondary, he mentioned Akinlabi. I don't know if you heard him saying.
Brought one of the students in, and they participated in the junior Chutney Sukamona?
Secondary schools intellectual Chutney Sukamona nationally, which took place in the Diwali Nagar. And we are very proud of her, Rihanna Roberts, for reaching the finals and representing Tobago.
Okay, absolutely, that's great.
Everyone in Trinidad was quite amazed to see somebody from Tobago coming on.
Yes.
And if you can train somebody that well, that means you have to be kind of good, Right? So we're going to take this time now to hear a little bit from Govinda.
So I usually sing in Hindi, but this song was composed by my auntie Rukmini, who last Bipat. It's a song about unity, so yeah. Tobago, Tobago, my native land, I love you so. Tobago, Tobago, my native land, I love you so. Whether your ancestor was slave or indenture, we are native Tobagonian brothers. Whether Hindu, Muslim, Christian or other, we have all come here together. Tobago, Tobago, my native land, I love you so. Tobago is the land of my birth. We can make it paradise on earth. With our steel pan, chutney and calypso, we are recognized all over this world. I'm saying Scooty Bob the Adana. Tobago, Trinbago, my native land, I love you so. I will to sing a song in Hindi, right?
Yes.
This is my latest traditional song. Hamade na yalawami, tanda pani na hai lao devara. Hamade na yalawami, tanda pani na hai lao. Na hai lao devara, na hai lao devara. Na hai lao devara, na hai lao devara. Hamade na yalawami, tanda pani na hai lao devara. सास नहीं घर में ससुर नहीं घर में सास नहीं घर में सास नहीं घर में ससुर नहीं घर में हमरे नयलवा में तंदा पानी नहाय लाओ देवरा हमरे नयलवा में तंदा पानी नहाय लाओ देवरा. So it is very important for us to, sing in Hindi and Bhojpuri to maintain our culture and also remember where we come from. And also being in Tobago, I sing in English so that the tourists and everyone can understand, and my friends and family here in Tobago can understand. But it's important to balance the both so that we can also preserve our the pure, real traditional chutney culture and also for everyone to understand. And that song I sung meant that when long time when they used to be in cold water, tanda means cool and pani means water. So you must understand what you sing and also be able to explain so people could appreciate what is being sung. So, yes.
Wow. Govinda, thank you so much for coming on the program this morning and for giving us that historical journey as the East Indians came to Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you so much for your contribution to society, and thank you so much for ensuring that the younger generation, and even if we're not of East Indian descent or culture, that we understand the culture and that we can appreciate it, and providing a space for all of us to feel comfortable here in Trinidad and Tobago. All the best in your celebrations, and again we say Sitaram to you. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Miss Pulbati Bipat, President of the Hindu Society here in Tobago, and also Govinda Ram Logan, who is a Public Relations Officer of the Hindu Society here in Tobago, giving us some history, some information, some details, and of course entertaining us this morning as we head on into the celebrations. As you are aware, we celebrate Indian Arrival Day here in Trinidad and Tobago on May 30th, which is tomorrow. So of course we will not be on air. We might be somewhere with our fingers deep in curry because that's what we're going to be doing on Indian Arrival Day as we celebrate the East Indian community. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you so much for being a part of our programming and for continuously encouraging us as we bring live entertainment for you, as we bring content for you that you can engage with. This is where we end the morning show, but of course it's not where we end our programming. We head on over to GMT and we want you to stay with us. And as you stay, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Healthcare on the island continues to be top priority for the Tobago House of Assembly, and as such, the Tobago Regional Health Authority recently commissioned 3 state-of-the-art high-tech ambulances to continue to provide service delivery to the people of Tobago. This will not only increase the present fleet, but will enhance the emergency medical services across the island, in an effort to ensure timely responses when carrying out medical duties.
Today is a proud and memorable day of the Tobago Regional Health Authority, and by extension the people of Tobago. The actual commissioning of these 3 ambulances, you didn't get it. The actual commissioning is not just about adding vehicles to our fleet, it is about strengthening and shortening the critical lifeline that exists between Tobagonians and their healthcare delivery units, the hospitals. As we officially commission these ambulances, let us reaffirm our collective responsibility to serve, protect, and provide quality care for every Tobagonian.
If we are to provide proper health care, we need to be able to provide swift health care. And swift health care requires several things, but two broad things. Speed, getting the people to the health service, and then at the health service, getting them diagnosed quickly and then treated. And with those things, I am pleased to be here as we commission 3 of the 4 ambulances. I have heard about the tanks and how battle ready they are. This is just one step. This is just the first step. But it is the first of many. And each of you have been a part of making this first step an amazing reality.
Before purchasing these ambulances, a series of studies was carried out in order to make the best suitable purchases.
I'm pleased to inform you that the work of our technical teams in corporate services, operations, legal services, and TEMS produced a detailed and modern specification requirement list that achieve the delivery of these state-of-the-art 2 patient-ready emergency medical delivery units, the TRHA tanks. Four of these units, as the 3 here demonstrate, are, as you will no doubt observe, just above the average size of the current units in the existing fleet, and will no doubt be applied immediately to work. The next 8 will be single patient ready, slightly more nimble and smaller, again with the most modern specifications necessary to prioritize quality care and quality care delivery in Tobago.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
It's a brand new
to Good Morning Tobago. We're coming to you live from the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort here in Lowlands, Tobago. I am Adana Kumbi, and yes, I know you're used to seeing me on the morning show, but here I am again this morning to have conversations that we need to have right here in the Tobago space. Remember, whatever happens here affects me, it affects you, it affects our entire community, and so we want you to be a part of our conversations. Remember, you can join us on our Facebook live stream and our YouTube channel, and for those of you who are on AMPLIA 102 or Floor 121 or 130, we welcome you this morning, and we want you to be a part of our conversation. Yes, Tobago, we are here live on set, and this morning we're speaking with Acting Commissioner of Police, Mr. Junior Benjamin. This morning we have to talk about, of course, taking care of Trinidad and Tobago. What is the plan? What are the things that are happening, and how do we get out of certain situations and provide a space that is safe for all of us here in Trinidad and Tobago, and more so in the Tobago space? Good morning and welcome.
Pleasant morning to you, Adana, and to all your listening audience. It's a privilege to be here.
Of course, and always a privilege to have any member of the TTPS represent here on Tobago Updates Television, and more so the Top Cup. And we're gonna have the conversation this morning because, of course, crime is something that we have to pay attention to. And when we look at what has happened in the past couple of months, the end of last year leading into this year, the transition, so many things happened in our local spaces in terms of policing. And so we have to have conversations this morning. And before we get into the topics that we are going to speak about, I just want to talk a little bit about where we are in terms of the TTPS, the mood, the tone that is inside the TTPS now. How are we in terms of, do we have our anchor? Are we anchored, and are we ready to move forward in terms of grabbing crime by the horn and eradicating it here in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, let me just start off by saying, I think that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, we have gone through a growth phase, and we are certainly much better now than we were at the beginning of the year. As you rightfully said, last year we had an increase in terms of our crime statistics. However, given the SOE and also given the strategic leadership of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, what we recognize for this year, that we've seen some what I will call small wins, but significant wins at the same time. We've seen at this time that our homicide rate has gone down. It is now at least minus 33, at least 33 or 32%. And that is phenomenal, because we wanted to have at least a 15% decrease. We are now seeing a 33% decrease. So as we stand today, we have at least 158 murders. When you compare to last year, we had at least 231 murders. And I think in the following year, we had 240, in 2023, 241 and 231 respectively. And I'm saying that because when you recognize that we are almost 6 months into the year and we are still at 158, I think we should be very thankful to God. And also we need to commend the police officers who relentlessly, they are out there doing their jobs, and they're doing it faithfully. And we are seeing the fruits of that. And for that, we are eternally grateful.
While we compare the figures and we're at 158 this year, I mean, yes, significantly less than last year. And we are indeed thankful for that. But one too much, as we always say. And, the approach in terms of ensuring that, I mean, realistically, a police can't be everywhere at all times. And so you would have to respond to something that might have happened. And we understand that. But in terms of getting to the root of what are some of the causes of these types of, especially violent crimes that end sometimes in fatality, loss of life, how is the community? Because I know, as I mentioned before, a police officer wouldn't be able to say that a crime is going to happen now. Right? You can't determine that. Nobody could determine that except the criminal who is about to undertake the crime. What type of relationship do we have in terms of communities, ensuring that there is strength in the communities to ensure that they come together to support, help, assist, and even understand their role, their important role in assisting the police in detecting crime and apprehending criminals?
Well, one of the pillars that we are doing right now, which is our strategic Plan 2025 to 2027 clearly shows that community partnership is one of our pillars. And in that community partnership, what we're seeking to do is really seeking to empower communities, where the communities will take ownership of their own territories. And as they take ownership, the police, we would be working hand in hand with them to, again, seek to ensure safety and security. We believe that crime is everybody's business, and therefore it's not just about the police. It is about every person taking their rightful place. It includes also NGOs, it includes religious organizations, everybody taking that rightful place and knowing that they have a part to play. We expect the business community to be part of it. So the police service, we would be doing a 3-phase approach, where we'll be looking at crime prevention, crime suppression, but at the same time, crime intervention strategies that we believe will really help us to win the war against crime.
And you know, talking about intervention, we want to talk about the root of crime, where it starts. Somebody doesn't wake up one morning and decide, I'm going to be a criminal today. It starts somewhere. There are social issues that lead to these things, and sometimes we only look at the end and we don't look at what is the cause. And recently we've been seeing, in terms of schools, we're seeing again violence rising up in schools. We had a period where there was so much school violence, and then, you know, it kind of died down, and now we're seeing again where, you know, every time you look around, there's something happening in a school, and it's cause for concern. What are some of the strategies that the TTPS is putting in place? One, to ensure that you kind of get to the root of what is the cause, and providing the measure of support that might be required to ensure that the schools are safe places. Also, in terms of ensuring that you have that relationship, that conversation, to ensure that that place is safe once again.
Well, we recognize so very much that a lot of the issues that we find within the schools, it starts with the home. And many times, children, when they come from dysfunctional homes, you see these results taking place where, as they say, hurting people hurt people. And therefore, what the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, what we are doing presently, is that we are seeking to, one, get into the schools. And while we're there, we are going to ensure that we have, one, the police officers, the community policing officers, going into the school and speaking to the children as to the consequences of their actions. We believe if we educate the children, they are going to at least have a greater understanding of what is or what needs to be done, so that they can change their behavior. At the same time, we also have our youth clubs that are there as alternative course of action. In our youth clubs, we have different activities that deals with the behavior of students in terms of the aggression and conflict management. And these are some of the things that we are having within the youth clubs that will also help young children and even the youths become more productive citizens in Trinidad and Tobago.
And what about parenting? I mean, we're talking about providing a way for the children to understand their roles and to understand the way they should behave, among others. Is there anything put in place? Because as you mentioned before, sometimes it starts from the home. Now, talking to the child alone might not be sufficient, because the child doesn't run the home, unless they do. How do you do that interception in the home scenario, to ensure that everybody understands that they are provided the support? Because talking to a family, talking to somebody who is in a social situation is one thing, but providing that measure of support and remaining consistent, ensuring that they understand and they can trust that they have the support to ensure that their situation can change if they do the right thing, or if they partner with the TTPS, or they partner with corporate Trinidad and Tobago who wants us to come out of this place. What is put in place for that that household, that community, that social environment, to ensure that these people have that measure of support?
Well, one of the things even within the youth club settings is that the youth club doesn't just deal with the youths, but they also deal with the parents, because we recognize if we don't touch the parents, you know, and the parents are really many times the mentors and the models that the children follow. So we also take time to meet with the parents in the youth clubs, and also in terms of our intervention as police officers, we seek to use the time within what we call our station council to meet with parents as well and encourage them as to some of the do's and don'ts. We would have our social workers and also our victim and witness support officers giving that psychosocial balance to talking to the parents as well, so that they can have a full appreciation of what needs to be done and what should be done in order to make their children a more productive citizen in Trinidad.
And what is the level of involvement in terms of collaboration with the Ministry of Education or the Division of Education in the Tobago instance to implement programs, support, to ensure that there is balance? Because at the end of the day, you want to also include policies. What type of policies have been introduced and implemented to ensure talking is one thing, but you have to have some kind of policy guideline and, of course, enforcement to ensure that they really get what is happening here and they understand what they need to do and where they need to be.
And I do share your concern, and I do agree. I think that in terms of policies, that is something that will be an ongoing process in that as we move forward and we look to see how we can develop, that relationship. That is something that would be done. I am totally open to that kind of suggestion. Presently, we work with the Ministry of Education at least to facilitate that transition in terms of police officers going to schools. We even have where we are encouraging every station to adopt a school, so that at least especially where we find schools that are given problems. I'm hearing about so often about the Mason Hall School and that kind of thing. We want to adopt these schools and therefore go into them. We believe if the presence of the police is there, it can really help to bring about that level of transformation and change that we're looking for.
Commissioner Chanel Felix, and it's my pleasure to join the discussion this morning. Now, I want to come in from a bit of a human perspective. I've seen a number of the viral videos of students having those fights in school. And sometimes you see a situation where it's one student versus about 10. And even as a mother, I often get so frustrated, and the anger that rises up in me, I often think, if that was only my child. And then you see a situation where a parent goes up to a school and confronts a student, and you can understand from a human perspective, when you look at 10 children beating on your child, how would you really react to that? So where do we find a middle ground between giving parents justice for the injustice that happens on the school compound with their children and trying to go about doing the right thing?
Well, first of all, I want to say that we have to understand the heart of the problem, to me, is a problem of the heart. And therefore, if we start to take everything emotionally, we can find ourselves even going down a road where what I call a slippery slope. We have to stop and start to think that, there is a way that society has put in place for us to deal with problems. And it has to be that we must follow the rule of law. The rule of law tells us how to deal with it. When we fail to teach our children to follow the rule of law, this is what happens. We have lawlessness. And therefore, the TTPS, we are about bringing back that rule of law. So we are saying that where these situations are done, we are going to deal with it decisively. We are going to ensure that at least there's something called the red hot stove rule. If you put your hand on the stove, immediately you get burned. So we are saying that there's a need for some level of immediacy to deal with these things, to bring these people to justice so that they can understand that, what you are facing now is a consequence of that bad behavior. And therefore, we are going to not just be doing it immediately, but we're going to be consistent and we're going to be impartial. So it doesn't matter who does it. We are going to ensure that we give the full brunt of the law so that people could understand that we need to come back to a level of discipline, especially as it relates to our youths.
I'm glad that you said that. And even as it pertains to going through the rule of law and doing things the way that things should be done, there was a situation that occurred in Bethel, Tobago a few weeks ago where a police officer would have taken the law into his own hands and would have, killed a member of that Bethel community. This evening we see that the members will be doing a silent march in Bethel. And when we talk about doing things the way that things should be done and not taking the law into your own hands, we want to ensure that there's a balanced approach. And that is not just for the citizens, but it also applies to the officer. So even as that case as it pertains to that case? Where are we with that?
Well, let me just say, for that matter, and as well as any other matter, there is a procedure that the police service goes through. Nobody is above the law. And therefore, that matter is being investigated. The last thing I know is that a file is on the desk of the senior superintendent. And as soon as it is completed, it goes to the DPP, and the DPP makes the decision. No, there is not going to be a cover-up. There is going to be a level of transparency, integrity, and accountability. As far as I'm concerned, or as far as leadership is concerned, while I'm in the chair. And therefore, we are going to deal with every matter based on its own merit. I am not here to state innocence or guilt, and we are going to be very impartial in relation to this. And we're going to just allow, as I said, the rule of law, the process that we have within the service, we are going to allow it to have its own course, and we're going to see what the end result is.
Excellent.
And I'm happy that you mentioned that there's going to be no cover-up and that a thorough investigation is going to be conducted. And these are the things that the citizenry would like to hear and to see the follow-through and the accountability, because we have to remember that we had a blow in terms of public trust and confidence in the TTPS, and this is a perfect opportunity to restore that confidence in the citizenry in the TTPS, to ensure that the policing is done in a way that will bring the type of results that we're looking for. We just came out of an election, and we're talking, for us here on Tobago Update Television, accountability is very, very important. And we are literally following what is happening, and we are trying to hold public officers accountable for the things that they promised, for the policies that have been implemented, the enforcement and the execution, and ensuring that the results that we're looking for in terms of performance actually happens. So we really want to see that happening, not just in this situation, but in all situations. Chanel mentioned earlier in terms of the humanness of situations happening, and you spoke to the policies and the procedures. But when you're talking about something actually happening and you having a feeling, we are human beings. That's where we start. First of all, we are man. And so we have emotions, and we want to, emotionally, we want to get justice for what is happening. And so we really want to be holding the TTPS and all other governing bodies accountable to what they are responsible for. The TTPS tagline is to protect and to serve with pride. And we want to see that happening here in Trinidad and Tobago, and more so in our local communities in Tobago. Tobago is a small community where everybody knows their neighbor, but now we're seeing where people are migrating to communities. We might not know who these people are. You don't have a background, any type of background information on these people. How is the TTPS ensuring that can we call ourselves indigenous or people to specific communities, remain safe in our communities, feel comfortable and confident that even when people come into our communities, there are things established that we can remain safe, and that we can count on the TTPS. We can count on the organizations that are set up, that are in collaboration with the TTPS, all the protective services coming forward. What is the conversation happening there in terms of collaboration to ensure the spaces remain safe for us, and that we can feel confident going to somebody and saying, hey, I have some information. I want to investigate this for me. Can you do a drive-by? Can you patrol this area? What is the kind of confidence level we can have in the TTPS where that is concerned?
Well, I am of the firm opinion that the issue before us is not one where we want to see, it's not one of reduction of crime, but the fear of crime. And therefore, it is the fear of crime that really brings about that level of unsafe perception. I think that if we want to talk about the fear of crime, the police service, we are starting in terms of how we treat the public. I think when a person comes to the station and they recognize that at least you have a police service that cares about you, that is concerned about your welfare, that is able to give you follow-up in terms of your crime, you understand that what you have is a caring police service, and you're able to add value to persons' lives. Then people feel that level of safety. Because I have just stated that we have seen a 33% reduction, and still people don't care about your stats.
But no, they don't. Exactly. That's the reality, you know.
But last year, that was the issue. We talk about, look how much murders. So you use the stats to justify your own perception that, hello, a crime is out of control, and you're using murders. Now we're using the same stats to show you that, hello, we have a greater control over the situation, and we don't care about your stats, because at the end of the day, it's not about stats. It is about how people feel, and we have to understand that, and therefore I am saying the police service, we are doing our due diligence. It's time that, and as I told the police officers across here as we roll out our strategic plan, I say, do me a favor, let us start to treat people as people. Every person come into that station, think of that person as your mother, as your brother, as your sister. You know, how would you treat them? We need to get that level of customer service. We have to start to add value to what we're doing. I think that is the first way to start. However, we need to ensure that we are more consistent in terms of our response time, and we are working on that. We are actually right now rolling out, giving every division at least 3 more vehicles. We want to ensure that our police officers be more confident in terms of what they're doing. So we are getting bulletproof vests, we are getting firearms, different things for them, so that when we look into the windscreen of our future, we are seeing a better days coming. But at the same time, we are saying that the public must also know they have a responsibility. You need to join us on this fight and understand it's not just about the police. You need to do your due diligence, keep your house safe. You can't leave your house open. You can't leave keys in your cars and expect things to go the way it is. You need to do your due diligence, and we are going to together make sure that Tobago is safe again.
Excellent. Well, guys, we unfortunately have to cut it right here and take a quick break, but we'll be back right after this. See you soon.
It's a brand new Abington Road. All day we beating road. All day Abington Road. All day we beating road. Experiented Abington Road. Experiented Abington Road. Experiented Abington Road. What to do? Let us see how stick you could get. See how stick you could get. Let us see how stick you could. See how stick you could. See how stick you could get. Let us see how stick you could get. See how stick you could get. Let us see how stick you could. See how stick you could. See how stick you could get. Wet me down. 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 Right now I overeating. Wet me down. 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 Right now I over.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TT Bet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions, powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And well, Adana had to leave me this morning, but I'm going to continue our conversation as we continue chatting with the Commissioner of Police, Junior Benjamin. Good morning and welcome back.
Yes, it's a privilege again to be here, and we're having a good conversation, very interesting.
Yes, I mean, it's sad that we had to take a break because we could have been chatting all that time, right? Although we were off camera.
Sure.
Even as it pertains to our beautiful island of Tobago, which you were born and bred right here, Tobagonian, we know that last year we saw the highest rate of crime on the island. And though the Tobago House of Assembly does not have immediate authority, or it's not under the remit of the THA to deal with crime on the island, what have you been doing and the TTPS on a whole to work in tandem with the Tobago House of Assembly to ensure that there are effective crime fighting mechanisms that is in alignment with the THA's objective for Tobago?
Well, I would start off by saying the Chief Secretary and other members, we met with the Chief Secretary, his team, and the TTPS earlier this year. And it was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful meeting. It was a meeting where, again, he stated and shared his concern about the crime situation. We vowed and commit ourselves once again to ensure a greater level of collaboration, a greater level of commitment of the officers, and putting our strategies in place. It's all about our anti-crime plan that we have implemented. And what I can say, again, ACP Subaru and Senior Soup Eli and the rest of the team here in Tobago, we recognize that the strategy is working for us. And we're not here to say we are successful, but we are saying that there are small wins that we are seeing. When we look at even the murder rate in Tobago, there is a 70% decline in terms of murders. We have 3 murders against 10 last year. And again, it is saying to us, out of all the divisions, when we look at the percentage, it is the greatest percentage that we've seen throughout all our divisions in Trinidad and Tobago. So it means that when things are going bad, we blame the leader. But I think if it's going good, we should also compliment the leader. So the leadership in Tobago is really, they're doing their homework. They're looking at what needs to be done, and they have put the hard work in, and we are seeing the rewards in Tobago space.
Right, and you spoke extensively about giving more resources to the different districts to ensure that they can, fulfill their duties, but there still remains the issue of available resources. Even as it pertains to new technology being used to fight crime, what is being done to ensure that when the different areas and districts submit requests and proposals for new equipment and new technology to fight crime, that it's actually being done and finances are being allocated to bring the police up to the level of technology that the criminals have?
Well, the truth is that there are certain things within your remit and there are certain things that are outside your remit. What we recognize is that the government, they are interested in assisting the police in fighting crime. And I must say that we are seeing some positive traction in that regard. And therefore, I think what leadership has to do is to ensure that we do much with what we have. And as we do that, we anticipate that more will come. We have looked at what we want to see. It is our intention to have what we call a technology-driven solution to crime, so that there is something that we want to bring about, and the government catered for it in its budget, which is called seismic. And this is where we're bringing all the intelligence together. And so you get all the viewing that you would have on your CCTV camera coming in, all the information that you get from the drones coming in, and all of them coming to one area where we are able to look at the situation and be able to even know when a crime is taking place, where we should do. And we have right now, presently, we are working on having all our vehicles GPS outfitted, so that as we go out there, we can tell exactly where our vehicles are, so that we can even put roadblocks and different things in place so that we could stop crime.
Right, and we know that criminals now have a quite complex and extensive criminal network in Trinidad and Tobago. Last year, we saw an issue where into the Tunapuna Regional Corporation area, there were CCTV cameras that persons thought were public, but were actually criminals put them up in order to monitor the area. And it just shows that they are sometimes even a couple steps ahead of the TTPS. When we look at the type of technology that they're using, the networks, the connectivity, the WhatsApp groups, what is the TTPS doing to compete with that?
Well, first of all, I think that you have to understand that I would say that we are winning the war against crime at this stage, because you want to, first of all, either disrupt or dismantle those operations. When we look at what is happening now, we are seeing that disruption. Take Port of Spain, for instance. You would have seen, when we look at Port of Spain, we've seen at 69% drop in murders. And it means, therefore, while that would have been the place where the gangs are, because we were able to infiltrate that area with our strategies and with the police officers, especially during the SOE, we were able to, again, disrupt the crime situation there. And what you recognize is that there is a disbursement, and even some people leaving and fleeing the country. So the TTPS, we are on top of all things. It's all about getting the intelligence, but you have to take intelligence and turn it into evidence. That is a process, and therefore it is not something that happens overnight. But nevertheless, as we seek to do that, we are also putting anti-crime measures in place. So therefore, there are regular patrols, there are targeted patrols. We are going against those what we call priority offenders, and we are doing our gang mining. We are seeing the associates of those gangs, and we are targeting those persons. So the police service, we are doing our due diligence. We are working on these things, and even though people might not see the technology out there, it is working behind the scenes, and it is helping us slowly but surely get control of the crime situation.
Right, but the truth is resources are limited. And as you said, you don't allocate money to yourself. Your monies are allocated by the government. Is the TTPS currently open to partnerships with corporate Trinidad and Tobago to ensure that some of its community campaigns are done? Because as you said, a lot of the times, even when you do get the finances, you have to focus on the fact that there are so many basic needs that need to be fulfilled, like facilities and, these things that keep officers comfortable to continue doing their job. So when you want to do those extra work in the community, the extra campaigns, sometimes you probably just want to go out and do something for the people in the area, just don't have the resources to do so. Are you open to that type of assistance?
The TTPS, we are open to partnerships, and we want to strengthen our stakeholder partnerships, and that's internal or external. Nevertheless, I want you to also be very mindful that, especially as a leader, when corporate Trinidad and Tobago comes and there's help, we have to be careful even with that, because people tend to even use that to place the police in a box. Hey, don't forget, we help you. I have a situation where, again, in Tobago, I was the senior superintendent in Tobago. And again, a particular individual was treated in a particular way by police officers. And the response is that, hello, don't forget, I am one that normally helps the police. And I'm saying that has nothing to do with it. If you break the law, we deal with it. And when you start to have these situations, we have to be mindful that the opposite also takes place, that people believe that because you help, we know that the police owe you something. No, this is not one of them. We are not going to be bought. The police service will not be bought. We are going to do our jobs impartially, and no one is above the law. And therefore, I'm just saying, with that, as much as we appreciate those help, I want it to be known that it is not going to be where the police is going to be bought. We are going to be very firm in terms of our position to ensure safety and security for all.
Excellent. And when we talk about confidence in the police, we can't talk about confidence in the police by only looking at it from the perspective of external public confidence. We also look at internal confidence. How confident are officers in the very system that they operate in on a daily basis? When people look at the TTPS, they call it a cutthroat environment, actually. Even with the situation that happened with the former police commissioner, persons are saying that, wow, the TTPS is quite cutthroat. What are you doing internally to ensure that officers remain confident in the system, that they can go to work confidently and look at their colleagues as colleagues and persons that have their backs, and not people who, if they slip, as we say, they get their throat cut?
And that's the thing about it. Because when, as an organization, you speak to transparency and integrity, we have to stand up for some things, because I think more than any other organization, the TTPS is probably the one organization that carry most of its members to court. And I am saying that there is a good in that, because it shows that level of transparency that nobody is above the law. If you are called to this organization, then there must be a standard that is required across the board when you wear that uniform. And I think that Trinidad and Tobago need to appreciate that level of transparency in relation to the police service. For the officers themselves, even yesterday we were talking about, when you decide to join the service, you need to have a resilient mindset. It means, therefore, as a defined mindset, it is said that mindset is an internal armor. If it is broken, the world will break you. But if it is unbroken, you can break the world. And I am saying that we are about breaking through the world. And therefore, the things that we face will not stop us. We will continue to do it, even when we don't get the thanks from the public, because we understand that resilient mindset.
Excellent. And even on an internal level and a personal level, we're shifting gears here a bit, right? Persons may see you as the commissioner of police, but they don't know you personally. We know that you're a Tobago boy, but we don't really know you. And even as it surrounds how you became the acting police commissioner, it's a bit of a cloud surrounding that in the circumstances that led to that. How do you deal with that in leadership, to lead your team, but still stay grounded when there are questions around your leadership and if you deserve to truly be there?
And for me, I understand that, when I'm dealing with leadership is not about me. It is about others. And therefore, it is said that he who leads and no one is following is simply taking a walk. I have no intention of taking a walk. I'm about leading others, and therefore I would be the change that I want to see. I'm about being what I call a commissioner for all. And therefore, people do not care how much you know unless you know how much you care. I am going around meeting my officers. From the very first day that I took up the office, I went down to every single floor in the police service commission, police headquarters, and meet with the persons and appreciated them and tell them how much I appreciated the work and how much we need to work together as a team. This is about Team TTPS. It's not even about me. I think that sometimes true leadership is leading from behind, where you push people. When you push a person, the person is what you see, not the person who's doing the pushing. And I'm about pushing TTPS in front. So it doesn't even matter about me, that whether people think I'm legitimately there or not. I am there, I'm given a responsibility. And for the time that I'm given it, I think that first of all, my commitment is to God, to do the very best that I can do, and also to my fellow officers, that they know that they have a commissioner that is working for them and seeking their best interests, and also to Trinidad and Tobago, that they know that there's a commissioner that wants to see that we do not just have a reduction in crime, but also a fear of crime, so that we can have a much better police service that can serve them.
Right, and you seem to be a very stern, grounded individual. We saw a situation where it was reported in the media that on the day that the former Commissioner of Police returned to office, you stood your ground and you said, well, you did not receive any dismissals from the Police Service Commission, and you stood at the head of the TTPS, which showed that you really did stand your ground. How important is it for you, as you lead the TTPS, to continue to stand your ground and do what you know to be the right thing?
Well, and again, and probably to even correct that, I stood my ground in terms of telling them that I did not. But I want to say at the same time, I handed over the key, because you have to understand that there's certain things that is not worth fighting for. You understand? Again, you don't fight for legitimacy. What you do, it is about giving respect. And I have always respected the Ma'am Earl Christopher. And therefore, when I was given that ultimatum, I did not fight. They wanted the office, that it was given over, because I believe in respect. And that's the thing, respect is you know, it's not given. You have to earn that respect. And for me, I want to make sure that I give it so that I can get it. So I do not fight. So it was that type of thing that, at the end of the day, Ma'am Christopher came back and gave me back the keys and said, no, you continue. And I'm saying that to me is true leadership. I don't have to fight for a position.
You know, that's not the things that get reported in the media. We don't see that dialogue. We don't get to see that camaraderie between you and the former commissioner. You know, there is just this public perception that it's an adversarial type relationship. And now you are bringing to the fore that, listen, we have great communication. We understand that there's a job to be done and we have to do the job.
And I think on a whole, we have to understand that Trinidad and Tobago, we are fighting each other too much. I think that there is a level of respect, mutual respect, that we must give to each other. And I think that, you know, respect brings respect. And I have always seen Ma'am Christopher as, I would tell people, as a model, a mentor, and therefore it was only respect, and that respect brought back that level of respect, and we ended off in a very harmonious relationship.
Excellent. Well, I'm getting the nod from my producer that we have to take a break again, although we can continue going all morning with this conversation. I'm having a great time chatting with the Commissioner of Police, Junior Benjamin, but we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back right after this. See you soon.
I say, thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Courts is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Courts Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Springs. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Guys, I am your host, Chanel Felix, and this morning we continue our conversation in depth. And let me just mention that we are presently at the Magdalena Grand Beach Resort here in Lowlands, Tobago. We have a beautiful view, as you saw outside in the live shot, and we are chatting with the Commissioner of Police, Junior Benjamin. Good morning and welcome back.
Yes, it's good being here again. I tell you, we're having some wonderful times, wonderful conversations.
Yes, and only if they could hear us off camera. But even as we continue this morning, you have done a great job on a personal level, as a leader, even in your personal life, leading at a God-centered place, and you have not hidden that. You have always continued to say that you place God at the forefront of your leadership. And though there are members of the TTPS who have their different religious orientation, you allow them to express that and to ensure that they lead from a place where they are centered internally. How important is that for your officers to be well-rounded but yet grounded?
Well, for me, I recognize, first of all, you have to develop the leader inside of you before you can develop the leaders around you. And therefore, for me, that internal leadership is what caused me to be where I am today. You have to be mentally strong, spiritually strong, emotionally strong to handle the challenges of being a police officer. And that, because it has helped me, is what I seek to even encourage my officers to do outside there, because it's not easy being a police officer. I think I tell them sometimes being a police officer is understanding that is like being a bridge. You cross a bridge, but how many of us stop to tell the bridge thanks? But without the bridge, you can't get from one place to the next. And the police officer, he's that type of person. We get people from one place to the next, and sometimes people don't even say thanks. But that's all part of being the bridge that we ought to be, and to be the change that we want to see. So it's all part of it.
Right, and we are seeing the TTPS moving towards a very human approach to dealing with the public. We're seeing, more activities that include the general public and allow persons to build that confidence that they can trust their officers and that they are persons just like them, understanding the very situations and circumstances that they're dealing with. They're from the same community as them. They're their neighbors, they are their cousins, their brothers, their sisters, their uncles. And, that you can feel confident to place your trust and your information, which is a key thing, because we have persons shying away from giving the intelligence because of, especially in Trinidad, the repercussions of feeling like you're saying the right things to the wrong person.
Yeah.
What is the TTPS doing to help persons feel more confident with bringing that information?
Well, first of all, let me say we're going to a more customer-centered approach in terms of how we deal with the public. You see a lot more walkabouts. You understand? We want people to understand that it is your friendly police officer that is on the street, that is living in your neighborhood. And therefore, we want persons to really know that they could reach out and touch, the police officers. The police officers need to know that it is not about policing a station. It is about policing a community. Get out there. And at the end of the day, we want to build that legitimacy. And legitimacy is really letting the public feel like they want the police to police them. And that is what we want, because we are treating them in a particular way where they feel valued. They would want the police to police them, and that is what we want.
So we've seen a situation where a number of persons from Trinidad and Tobago are being deported back from the United States. How are we dealing with managing that? Now, we heard from the former police commissioner, Gary Griffith, who came out and said, well, this is no big issue. It's just like any other citizen from Trinidad and Tobago being released from prison. There's no difference. It's just that they're coming in from a different country. How are we dealing with that particular situation as it pertains to those deportees returning to Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, I want to say the deportees issue is not a new thing. It has happened years ago, continue, and it's just that it probably might be happening in a more frequent manner now. But nevertheless, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, we have always had what we call a multi-agency approach. It's not just about the TTPS, it's about the TTPS working with the immigration, working with the customs, and ensuring that we put things in place where we get all the necessary documentation, all the necessary things in relation to the policies and the rights of an individual done, and in this case, DNA, etc., so that we continue to monitor these persons, especially those who have very serious offenses. We are saying that, again, a level of monitoring would be done. But the aim of the monitoring is not that we are watching you and that you feel like the police is always watching you, but is that we want to monitor them so that they can become productive citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. At the same time, we are not naive. We are going to liaise with our international partners to understand the crimes that has been committed. And also, we are going to be on guard to ensure that they do not seek to commit those crimes here, because we will take a zero tolerance approach in dealing with those situations.
Excellent. And are you confident in the process of the Police Service Commission as it pertains to appointing, because you're acting, currently you are the acting Commissioner of Police, are you confident in the process of appointing a Commissioner of Police? I am
100% confident in the Service Commission. The process, again, I can't go into it much, but I think the process was a very long and hard one, but it's one that I think whatever decision and whoever they select would be a very good candidate. And again, it's all about team, TTPS, and the support will be there, because I think all the candidates are persons who I believe are very good candidates to lead the TTPS.
Excellent. And as we round up this morning's conversation, is there anything that you want to say to the officers of the TTPS, specifically here in Tobago, but nationally, as it pertains to moving forward and the leadership and the objective and strategies moving forward?
Well, to my officers, first of all, I'm so very proud to be the acting Commissioner of Police and to lead them at this time. I think that we have some of the bravest, most resilient officers, officers with so much wealth of education and experience. And I think that what we have accomplished over these couple of 5 months has been extraordinary. I want to encourage them to continue the fight. Let us understand that we are Team TTPS, and therefore there is no I in team. Let us continue to understand that we are here to serve the public, and let's do it with pride, with that professionalism, respect, integrity, dignity, and excellence. But there's also another side of pride that we need to understand, which is about presence. It's about image. It is about understanding that it's about devotion. You know, it is about, you know, efficiency. We want to bring that side of pride so that whatever we do it well. And Trinidad and Tobago must be proud about that gray and blue that you're wearing. People, you know, we are part of an excellent organization, and it is my intention to make the police service an employer of choice, where people want to join the service because we are able to bring value to Trinidad and Tobago.
Excellent. We want to thank you so much for your time here this morning. And only if we could have gone a bit longer, but we know your schedule is very busy this morning. Hopefully we get you back when you're back in Tobago again to chat more on all that the TTPS is doing as it pertains to crime fighting and community engagement. Guys, this is where we end our program here today. Again, I am your host, Chanel Felix, and we want to thank you for sticking with us here at the Magdalena Grand Beach Resort in Tobago. We have a beautiful view outside, and courtesy Magdalena, we're about to have a wonderful breakfast. So guys, we want to thank you for being a part of this morning's discussions. We want to thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. And I want to say have a great day and thank you.
To wake up and hear me neighbor, 60,000